well I wasn't with anybody that night, really.
Definitely.
Otherwise, they really would have had a show.
Everyone had a good couple of weeks. Everyone had a good couple of weeks. We all good? We all good? Good, good. I've got the lovely Caroline with us tonight. She has become my angel and come and helped me out tonight because Melinda, our original medium, is busy with horrible work stuff, which nobody likes doing because it's crap.
Blessings to Melinda.
Definitely, because she's stuck in a very boring meeting. But yeah, Caroline come a massively long way to come and help us and managed to get round Stortford Roadworks as well to get here.
That was fun.
That's just a spiritual journey in itself, really, isn't it? Let's be real.
So I went through all the countryside and saw the hay and
yeah, it's an adventure. We went adventuring. It's fun.
Yeah, I wanted an adventure, so I was given an adventure.
So here we are. So I'm just going to ask Caroline if she can just do us a lovely opening prayer, which would be brilliant.
Absolutely.
And then we'll get on.
Oh, dear Father God, Mother Goddess, thank you very much for bringing us all safely here tonight through the wonderful countryside and the roadworks. But most of all, we ask this night for love to go out to the family of Darius Campbell, who passed to the world of spirit on the 11th of August. And happy birthday, spiritual birthday to you, Darius, if you're with us tonight. You had such a beautiful voice. And also we ask that the beautiful light goes out to the people who are on the hospitals, working on hospitals, and the patients who are in the hospitals at the moment, the animal kingdom, and all the people who need help and guidance and upliftment. And most of all, please send a little bit of money to where it's needed. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us every single day of our lives. Amen.
Thank you. Right, I've got our healing book as usual. You all know the drill by now. If you don't, I'm going to repeat it for you anyway, because you know. Oh, I will ask them, has everyone got their phones on silent?
I'll just check mine.
Checking mine as well. I don't trust myself.
They've done that to me before, I tell you.
Yeah, I was out somewhere once and my phone went off. It was not good. So you know the drill. I'm going to go through a tiny little healing prayer, and then we're going to read out the list, and then we'll have a moment's silence. If you could just think about everybody and just think of them in a better place than they are now. Just send them out some nice healing thoughts. You can do it however you want. You can imagine them in a bubble of light. You can send light that way. You can do the old Care Bears thing. You can do whatever works for you.
I love it. Never heard the Care Bears one.
Just send your love and light, like woo.
Yeah.
And just whatever works for you, whatever surrounds them in a lovely bubble of light and healing. Earth Mother, Sky Father, once again we gather here in this place of love, light and healing to ask that the universe surround us and those named in this book with energy and peace. May all those who need healing receive it, and may all those who find themselves in difficult situations receive the help that they need. Our healing list has Glenn and family, Tracy and Andy, John, Yvonne, Michael, Vicky, Penny and family, Jan, Iris and Spike, Stephen family, Jenny, Maureen, Roy, Lawrence, Madeline, Blaine and family, and Kevin and Trouble. So if you could just take a few moments of quiet just to visualise them in a nicer place than they are now, that would be great. That's great, thank you all for that. Just got a small little reading here today, just one of our usual ones. I was reading through this magazine earlier and I thought this was quite interesting because a lot of people can sometimes feel like their prayers and things that the thoughts that they put out to the universe doesn't really get answered, and this is a little lady's story of just how she works and the way that the universe can listen and it can help you if you actually just ask. So taking some deep breaths, I closed my eyes. Within moments, my mind had emptied and I felt calm. Every evening, I like to end the day with a simple meditation. As a spiritual mentor, it's a good way to cleanse my energy, a bit like a factory reset of my aura. But as I meditated in my therapy room, suddenly the image of a bundle of love letters popped into my head. It was very clear. The letters were tied with red ribbon and they were handwriting on the envelopes. In my mind's eye, I saw a close-up of one of the letters, and it was addressed to Dear Universe. I realised at once that I'd been sent a message. Those love letters would help me manifest the life that I wanted. And what I wanted was to move house. My husband Wayne and I lived in a bustling town of Knowle in the West Midlands. We'd been happy there, but we'd recently started dreaming about a slower, more rustic pace of life. However, we'd been too busy working to make any plans. Could a love letter to the universe help, I wondered? The idea might seem wacky to some people, but I trust my intuition. I have psychic gifts for as long as I can remember, and I've been working full-time in the spiritual field for 23 years. So I sat in my therapy room and wrote, Dear Universe, I'm desperate for a change. I've been in Knowle for 12 years, but I want to live somewhere rural with beautiful landscape, and I want the change to happen quickly. I posted the letter to myself, first class, and when the envelope arrived the following morning, I felt excited. And as I read the letter, I started to cry, because my intuition told me that something magical was going to happen. 2 weeks later, my mobile rang. I didn't recognise the number, but I answered anyway. It was an estate agent asking if we were interested in selling our house. Yeah, I said. I've no idea how he got my number because I hadn't registered with anyone. After that, things happened really fast. Our house went straight on the market, and the first person to view it, 3 days after the call, put in an offer. We exchanged contracts 6 weeks later, and then Wayne and I moved to Malvern. In the heart of Worcestershire, Malvern is a beautiful place with a slower pace of life, exactly like I wanted when I manifested 8 years ago. We moved into a lovely little lodge on a quiet holiday park. Looking out of the window at the glorious green landscape and a cup of tea in hand, I knew that we'd made the right decision. My love letter was a huge success, and since then I've written to the universe a handful of times over a year. From a manifesting point of view, the process develops a closer bond with the universe and helps you to become more open to receiving. The technique breaks down the habit of negative thinking, which acts as a block to manifestation and luck. With all loving relationships, there has to be trust, and writing these love letters creates that bond. The more you trust that the universe loves you, the more likely it will be to manifest the contents of your love letters. Another dramatic letter that sticks in my mind was penned in October 2014 after Wayne suffered a burst appendix. At the time, doctors told me that Wayne's condition was life-threatening and that I was terrified of losing him. After Wayne came round from emergency surgery, I rushed home and wrote one of my special letters. I couldn't imagine life without him. We've been together for 27 years. I wrote, You must save Wayne. He must get well. If you take my husband from me, I won't do this work for you anymore. I felt like I was getting all the worry and anger off my chest. After 10 days, Wayne came home and gradually recovered from his illness. But looking after my husband, then self-employed like me, was a concern financially. A week after Wayne was home, I wrote again and asked the universe to help send me some cash. 2 weeks later, my friend Ellie, who lives in America, rang out of the blue and asked how life was treating me. Close to tears, I blurted out my worries. I heard Ellie gasp, thousands of miles away. I've just been paid a £5,000 bonus for a teaching job, but intuitively I knew the money was to help someone else. And she said, I'm sending you a cash transfer. I was so grateful that I wrote a letter asking the universe to manifest the cash back to Ellie. She went on to win a holiday in Hawaii and unexpectedly inherited a sum of money. More recently, during lockdown, I became increasingly worried about our living arrangements. We were splitting our time between Malvern and a villa in Spain, but COVID was causing problems. We weren't supposed to stay at the park all year round and we couldn't get to Spain. Plus, I felt uneasy living so close to others and not having our own garden, especially for our 2 dogs. When September 2020 arrived, it was time for another letter. And I was very specific. I asked for a refurbished bungalow with a private garden. The property needs to be spotlessly clean and feel like home, I stated. It also needs to be near a nice pub and have good views and dog walks plus links to the city. I wrote a letter on a Sunday night and the next day I contacted an estate agent. Luckily, we have managed to sell our lodge back to the site with no tricky issues. On the Friday, 5 days after writing the letter, we viewed a property. My heart sank when we walked in. It was dirty and dark. It's not for us, I told the estate agent. The agent paused and replied, I do have another property that might be of interest. It's not on my books yet, but I'll see if I can gain access. The agent made a quick call and said the owner was happy for us to view the house. The decorator's in there, just finishing up, the agent said, as we followed in our car. The bungalow, 6 miles out in Martley, was perfect. To my delight, it was absolutely everything on the wish list. The decorator had painted every inch of the place and it was spotlessly clean. It also had its own garden too. The property is part of an estate, so the front is gated and private, and we knew that we'd feel safe. We moved in 6 weeks later in November 2020. We could even see the local pub, which was on my wish list from our back garden. I knew home was perfect thanks to my love letters to the universe, but I never doubted that dreams could come true. So it's one of those things where no matter if you call it the universe or God or just spirit or anything like that, it's always worth asking. It's always worth putting your desires out there. It's always worth bringing positivity into your life, because if you're constantly negative, you're just going to push away all good opportunities, because you won't chase them and you won't go for anything and you won't trust your intuition because you're going to instinctively think that it's going to fail. So it was just a little story just to try and get everyone to be a little bit more positive.
That was lovely, Willow.
So I'm going to pass it over to you. You can do a little address if you want to, a little talk, or just get straight into it. Totally up to you, free range.
Okay, hello. Thank you very much for your lovely, lovely welcome. The energy here is beautiful. I love the older people around me.
Yeah.
I can smell their perfume and
Yeah.
it's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But yeah, wonderful reading. Thank you very much, Willow. But I'm going to introduce you to my guide. Nobody's scared of aliens, are they?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Okay, jolly good. Well, when the pandemic first started, I had a terrible dream about green monsters. I actually hadn't had a drink that night, so it did seem rather strange. Husband was away working at Rolls-Royce in Derby, and I was just there with me and the cats. And I thought, why am I getting this? And I thought, it really worried me all the way through the day. And of course, I put the news on about the pandemic, and I went, but my husband's in Derby, and he really needs to come back. And oh gosh, is it really, really going to be bad? And are the monster's going to take over the world? Anyway, that night, I stood out in the garden with the cats around me, impassioned, going meow meow, wondering what the heck was going on. He's my Siamese. He's a lovely boy. Pashishkalemi Pyracket is his name, yes. And he is just like Pyracket in the film Bellbook and Candle. And you're thinking, well, what's she doing? Why is she calling out at the moon goddess? And I'm going, moon goddess, look, can you just answer a prayer? Just tell me that things are going to be all right. Just show me a sign. And that moment, there was just a shooting star that went right across the sky. And I went, okay. And I tried to get my phone out to try and see if I could record anything, because it was a lot of sort of high, you know, like when you have a radio and if you put it on the wrong station, you get that. And that's what I managed to record on my phone. So anyway, I went, okay, fine. Don't doubt. I think just don't doubt. Just believe that the monsters aren't going to come for you, Caroline. That there's a greater energy. Well, that night, my beautiful Isha came through in my dream state, and she said, "I am so sorry, little one, that you've been frightened. They had no right to come in and scare you like that." Okay, the Klingons, just like out of, yeah, I know it sounds crazy, just like out of Star Trek. But she said, I can assure you things will be all right. But when it is your 60th birthday, you're going to have a very much a surprise. Okay, well, I'm not really worried about that moment. I'm really, really concerned about my husband being in Derby. And she said, don't worry. She said, I'll tell you what, tomorrow you're going to get 2 phone calls. The first phone call will be from the Ibis saying that they're sending your husband home, and the fact they haven't, well, they can't send him home because obviously he's got to try and find another B&B to stay in. But don't worry, by 5 o'clock another phone call is going to come through. It will be your husband telling you, I can still go cold when I think about it, telling you that he's coming home. 10 o'clock. I came home from the Ibis. I went, okay, fine. tried contacting Simon and said, look, this is what they said, we're trying to find another B&B to stay on. Okay, fine, don't worry, it's going to be alright. I'm like, okay. 5 o'clock, dead on, Simon's on the phone. Darling, they put him on, what was it they used to call when they put it on the money, you know, so you're going to be alright. I'm coming home, they give me some money just to tide me over regarding this. They're closing Rolls Royce down. Okay, so I'm thinking, alright, fine. And constantly, she would come through in my dream saying every single night, are you okay? Don't worry, things are going to be fine. Just keep the faith. Just believe. Just got to believe that it's all, that, you know, I can't come down to Earth because basically I'm above your planet Earth. I went, okay, that doesn't really make much sense to me. Anyway, time went on, and it was coming to my 60th birthday. And my husband said, well, where do you fancy going? I went, oh, I'd like to go to Los Angeles, see my friends. That didn't happen, did it? I'd like to go to Weymouth, see my friends. No, that didn't happen. I went, okay, well, this is really weird. Everything is not going according to plan. And Isha did say to me that I'm going to get a surprise for my birthday. 2 weeks before my birthday, Simon came home. He said, they've opened up Barbados. Was I excited? Not because about going to a far-flung place like Barbados. It's only because I know from being there previously that this, oh my God, I pray to God that all of you sometime can go on a plane and go to Barbados. It's the most beautiful, wonderful place under this earth. And the night sky, you can see all the stars in the sky. Anyway, so off I go to Barbados, and it's wonderful. While I'm there, Isha comes through. Happy birthday, Caroline. Happy 60th birthday. I went, thank you so much for making this happen. She said, no, she said, we've got extra work to do. Yeah? Yes, we're going to study astrology. We're going to study astrology. Yes, you're going to astrology. I said, but I can't, I'm no mathematician and I can't work out degrees and all those things and it's all very confusing. She said, no, you will do. So anyway, that night, I looked at the night sky and there was Saturn and Jupiter and they were so close. And I thought, this is really strange. And we're going back to 2010. Now, I don't know whether you remember when it came to December of 2020, Jupiter actually overtook Saturn. Now, Saturn is of the old school. Jupiter, yeah, I like Jupiter. Jupiter is a bit like the musician of the planetary system, yeah? Bit of a tearaway teenager, killed all the dinosaurs because he didn't like them. But he is a bit like a rock star. I would say that one of my favourites, musicians, Tony Jefferson of the Dolmen, is Mr. Jupiter Man. He thinks he's the white rainbow, but no, he's Jupiter. Because Jupiter has all these little satellites going around the planet. And actually those satellites stop any meteorites coming towards Earth. Isn't that incredible? Well, anyway, so I was saying, but that's basically how Isha came into my life. Now, so what I'm saying here is there is a higher consciousness. Yes, we're going through this major change. That's why that if you sometimes might see streaks of light or shooting stars and such like, it just makes you wonder what is actually going on, you know. And we're meant to be able to see the aurora borealis very soon as well. So hold on to that thought, hold on to the faith, because we're going to ride this out. You know, at the moment, Pluto is retrograde, but Pluto will go back forward again come October, and it'll be very high degrees, right through to about February of next year, be high. And this is the time when the major changes are going to take place, yeah? And we've just got to realise how we've actually coped in the past. You know, our mums and dads and our grandparents, they didn't have a great deal. They didn't have central heating, did they? They had a backseat burner that used to heat the hot water up, yeah? And they used to have a square meal. You know, mum and dad may not have had 3 meals per day, but they would make sure they would sit down in family and have a good meal at tea time. And maybe this is what we need to do, is our lives become so fast paced with technology. Have we actually forgotten the old ways? Not always were old ways good, of course, if you go back to Lady Hertford, who was famous of Catherine Parr, and as a gift, because she was going to be burnt at the stake, Catherine Parr gave her some gunpowder, so it would just basically fish bang bong, push, gone. But, you know, if you go back and with regard to spirituality, maybe Lady Hertford was the forerunner of our spirituality that we have today. And, you know, it's lovely to see two lovely men here tonight. Hello! But, you know, through the mums, you bring in the new life. And it's so beautiful when new life comes into this world, you know, with all hopes and dreams, and, you know, when mums bring up their little ones in and they're having to go through this gestation period of 9 months, and it must be pretty difficult if you're pregnant at the moment through this heat wave that we're going through. But again, this is the transformation. You know, you can't have the light without the dark. You can't have the love without the hate. You can't have the understanding without the misunderstanding. And it's no good us beating ourselves up and saying, oh, we must be a really, really bad person because that person didn't like the way I was dressed or what I said or such like. Because for every one person who may not understand them, there's probably 10 others who do. So what I'm going to say to you tonight is, thank you very much for listening to me and to listening to my address. Okay, into the mediumship
just
now?
as and when.
Woohoo! Right. I think I've got, oh dear, bless her, telling me about black molasses. Somebody had, their nan would have really, black molasses, treacle, used to make toffee with it. But by God, if it was a jar and you broke it, it would go everywhere and it would go very, very sticky. But I want to come to you, my lovely, because as this lady comes around me, she showed me a kitchen. Everything's in its place with the brown teapot and the tins with the money in it, yeah? And this is she's saying here to you, to say to you, and thank goodness that the fact that you don't rashly spend money. You make sure you have your money set aside, yeah? And you know, younger members of the family probably will love to spend money here and spend money there and thinking, well, I'm not going to manage because the money's going to be taken away. No, it's not going to be taken away. It's just basically, it's a learning curve for all of us, isn't it, really? Just learning how to manage our accounts, really. And this is what I'm saying to you here is the fact that you're very much a financial lady. You know exactly the ins and outs, and you know everything is. I'm going to say it. They're showing me a book ledger. The pages are just everything is.
No, that's not me.
So forgive me. Let's go with this. Okay. So I've got the lady with the kitchen. So
Right.
somebody else is coming in now. Right. So I feel as though this gentleman would have had. When you were younger, you remember the sweet shop with the jars of sweets in there, you know, humbugs and sherbet lemons and such like, yeah. Because he's remembering you as a little girl with pigtails, yeah. And it's like, you know, almost like wanting to pull your pigtails. That's just as well I tie my hair back tonight because otherwise he'd be pulling my hair. But this is what I'm saying to you here is, you know, think about all the good things in life, all the blessings, because blessings are what makes every day. You know, if we think negative thoughts, then unfortunately we attract negativity. If we can't think we can do something, some people say, well, what's it worth trying? Every day we've got to try, even if we might go wrong. We've got to keep trying. And this is what he's saying to you, just keep trying. I want to bring forward a gentleman with you, and I feel this gentleman's in the world of spirit, and there's very much a love vibration around him. Because as I look at you, it's a bit like a cartoon, and all these lovely red hearts are all going up into the air around you. And he's just saying, that's my girl. That's my girl. He said, listen to my music, because you're his girl.
Right.
Yeah. And so at the moment, he said, you probably would have loved to have had a holiday abroad, but he said, not just yet. Not just yet. He's given me, this is a long haul one. You don't know if anybody, I don't like ask questions, so I'm not going to ask questions, but just give me New Zealand.
Right, okay.
And you're going to say to me, you don't know anybody in New Zealand. New Zealand.
Okay.
Alright? So, this in the future, alright, could well happen with New Zealand. Alright? I feel as though maybe somebody around you within the family may think about emigrating.
Okay.
It's not Canada, it's New Zealand.
Right.
And they give me South Island. Alright? I'm asking if they want to give me anything else. Dad's just telling me, he said, keep up the good British Bulldog spirit. Yeah? Okay. Love and Rainbows, got to leave you. I said, because I've got to go to somebody else now. Right, I want to go to the beautiful lady with lovely blonde hair. Yes. Hello. And I want to say to you here is the fact that I've got such spirituality around you. You could have stood in tonight, but you didn't. So thank you. Thank you for basically giving me a chance. But I want to say to you here is the fact, and your dad's telling me, he said, bless your heart, he said, when you're a little girl, I was doing this with my bell. He said, you know, it was a case of sometimes that, you know, you'd go on about your spirit friends, and he said, and sometimes he said, I just wanted to tell you to, yeah, note up. He said, but he said, I didn't mean to be cross or negative towards you. He said, but he said, it just wasn't part of my world. Yeah. But he said, I'm so pleased the fact that you never left that essence. You didn't let that essence go. The fact that, you know, you look at the night sky and you see the stars and you look at nature and you look at the grasshoppers. Now, where was it? There was someone I saw a picture the other day. Was it Chinese? But there was a little insect that actually did have a face on it, like a little grasshopper, yeah? But nature around you is so very beautiful. And this lady is so very proud. She just literally wants to take me by the hand and take me into her garden and show me all her rose bushes and the sunflower and, you know, and she said, I'm glad I'm in a spiritual garden now, she said, because it's not very good about the hose pipe ban. You got the hose pipe ban here? Yeah, everything drying up. But she said, we are going to get the rain. He said, but maybe it won't be such a bad winter this year. Because the feeling I'm getting from her, she's telling me that she didn't like the cold. She hated the cold because it would hurt her feet. Her whole body would ache. Yeah. And she found it very difficult when it was winter time for mobility issues to go here, there and everywhere, you know. And she said, I just hated that Zimmer frame. Having to go round with it. She said, it drove me mad. She said, I wanted to throw the wretched thing. She said, and flipping out, she got fed up when the doctors told me what to do. Because she said, I was very independent, very much like yourself, yeah? And she said, keep that independence going. Always keep the faith whenever you're travelling to different places. And there will be more avenues opening up for you. I also want to give you, I want to say to you here, my lovely, that are we allowed to say about reincarnation? Oh, of course we can. We can. Because you said...
Yeah, free range.
I want to say to you here is the fact, because you have to be very careful with SNU churches and such like.
We're not an SNU.
But I want to say that you're an old soul. Yeah, you are an old soul and you've been reincarnated so many times. You didn't have to be reborn. You chose to be reborn. And to be honest with you, this is probably one of the most exciting times in history to be born. The changes and everything. You know, and the beautiful thing about the United Kingdom is the fact that we interact with so many different nationalities. Whether people are Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, all different, you know. And literally, if a little green man, not the monster type, of course, were to arrive, or if they were purple or blue or whatever, you just greet them as a friend, wouldn't you? And that's what's so beautiful about you. And the fact that I've got children around you. I don't know whether you... Give me more information, please. Okay. They're telling me that there was a little one who didn't make it to the earth plane. Yeah. Okay. And I want to say, and sometimes because it's such a lovely bundle of energy, it's just like a child, yeah? Not running riot and being naughty, but you know, kids hide things, don't they? And you ask them, did you do that? No, I didn't. It was, and of course, and I get this with what you know, your kids, the fact that, no, I didn't do that. Such and such, right, well, where is such and such? Oh, they're not here now. Yeah? And this will say, and more interaction with children for you. They're giving me you writing books of, to do with, you know, J.K. Rowling did um, Harry Potter. But all the, think about all the stories that you've made up over the years and you've told your kids. Write them down. Yeah? Because nowadays, sometimes mums and dads can be too busy working that they don't have time to read a story, which is quite sad, really. Yeah? Or give your free time, maybe at a library, and read to the children. Yeah? There's so much going there for you. There really is. It's beautiful. I just want to, I want to give the, just saying Nan is here. Yeah, Nan is here. And also Harry as well. And I want to give the number 14 to you as well. And number 14. I'm not giving you the lucky numbers.
I'm writing them down.
But I want to say to you, when you need a bit of money, it will come to you. It's a bit like, I don't like to really advertise, but I will say that TJC and Ideal World are two fabulous shopping channels on the TV. They really are. You know, the prices are so reasonable. The fact that you're able to put them on split pay and it ties you over a little bit longer so that you can get your Christmas presents. Yeah, it's money is just a game of basically just juggling figures. Yeah, so juggle the figures. Yeah, and when the time is right, as I said to this beautiful lady here, yeah, I've got you near to Stansted. I don't know what plane. I've never been to Stansted Airport, but I've got you going on a holiday from Stansted Airport. Well, that would be quite nearby to you, really, wouldn't it? But a holiday to Stansted Airport. Yeah, but I haven't got. Although I would give you America, I don't feel it's America. I feel it's Germany because I can see this festival. Yeah, and people are. They've got big, huge jugs of beer, and there's music playing, and it's like, wow, why did I never think about going here before? Yeah? So watch out for it. It's really lovely, and it's going to, so much there really going for you. You're welcome. I want to go to this beautiful lady here. Hello, good evening. Oh, another lady who went to Witchfest, fantastic. And you're going to go to Witchfest lots of time. We're going to have a party, yes.
Hopefully.
Yes, lots more party. Whee! But I want to say to you here is the fact that I want to give a cat to you. I want to give a black cat to you.
Oh God, not another one.
It's a spirit one. You're not getting another cat in your house, don't worry.
It is for that.
You've got too many.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
Who knows?
It's just basically, I've just seen this black cat and it's basically landed at your doorstep.
Okay.
Okay. It may be a bit feral. So it may be a case of like you feed the cat and then it goes out and does what cats do at night. Could be a little.
It's come to my garden, isn't it?
Yeah, which one? Any of them?
Milo was in there earlier.
So yes, this one is there, but it's like animals seem to come towards you. You have a natural quality regarding animals, whether it's dogs or guinea pigs or mice or birds.
Yep.
That your cats seem to leave little presents for you.
Not so much at the moment. They're in a cage.
No, your cat's leaving.
Oh right, yeah.
They've left 3 mice in my garden.
That's it for you, not me. They leave my birds alone. They're good.
Okay, right. But as I say, I've got. So it's more than one cat, isn't it, that you've got? Quite a few cats.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. Have you ever thought about having your own cattery? just joking with you because it seems as though there's, you know, you love animals so much, you know, like why not to give the garden up to the with the cats, you know?
I probably would actually, easily.
It's just I've seen a garden. It's got these pens,
Yeah.
and heating and such like.
It's got a pen, but it's a bird aviary at the moment.
Okay, I'm sure the cats will probably love that area.
They do.
Bird, bird, hoo! No. And I also want to give you a white pigeon. It's not a dove, a white pigeon.
Okay.
All right. And also watch out because I've got like countryside around you, yeah, yeah, and owls. Like driving down the, yeah. Just be careful when you're driving about the owls. It does seem to like to sit in the middle of the road. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nothing bad. Nothing bad's going to happen. It's just, you know, I always say forewarned is forearmed.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to run over an owl in no way, would you? No. I also want to say to you here is the fact that you're another lady who loves to do moon gazing.
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about getting yourself a diploma in moon magic?
No. No, I haven't thought about any of that.
Okay, because I just want to say to you here is, you know, when winter comes and days are a bit bleak and such like, and we think, oh, what we're going to do? It's a wonderful way of keeping busy.
I'm quite busy.
All right. And I also want to give you an amazing book. You do read, don't you?
Not so much, no. I'm not really a reader.
This is a book that you could literally read one chapter and put it down and pick it up again. It's called, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's about the witches. You know, Ashes something or other, but it's about all the different witches that lived in, you know, in this country. But I want to say to you here is the fact that keep visualizing, because as Willow was saying about the universal law, you're manifesting. Just keep manifesting. Yeah. Remember, at the moment we're on this waning moon, so it's basically just letting things go. You know, if you need to get rid of things, take it down to the charity shops where people probably could do those things, you know, for Christmas and such like. But no, keep busy. I think you always will be busy. You always have been busy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you what the zodiac sign is, but you've got somewhere in your chart you've got to have some fire.
No, I'm the opposite. I'm water.
Okay. What's your ascendant?
Sorry.
Check your chart. There's got the reason I say
Being born as Taurus, I was early.
okay. The reason I say this is that the fact there is definitely some fire there. Yeah, and Mars comes in with fire, and Mars is just like, you know, at the moment it's so difficult to sleep because Mars is so active. The degrees are really, really high until I think soon Mars will go into Virgo, but it's being in, no, not Virgo, Gemini. Mars will go into Gemini. It's Mercury that's in Virgo, yeah, which is talking about basically research and hard work and doing these things at the moment. Which, you know, if you're an Earth, you know, near an Earth sign, yeah. They always say that if when you look at an Earth sign, look how many degrees. If it's one, like less of one, right? Because if it's 20 degrees, yeah, and it's 25, you take the 20 degrees off, and it's 5 degrees, you take off the 30, which gives you 25 into the other sign,
Right.
which will make it stronger. It's like my husband, he's the 23rd of May. Oh, Gemini. He's argumentative, yeah, but he's not Gemini. He's double right flipping Taurian. I love him to bits. Love him to bits. But I'm digressing. Sorry, my love. But I just want to give you lots and lots of glitter, lots and lots of sparkle. And I want to say to you, let the good times roll. And I want to bring a beautiful lady. And I feel this lady, bless her heart, she went to the world with cancer. But she's standing right there. And she's saying, I just love it when we have fun. She wants to have more fun. Okay. So, yeah, life is what you make of it, my darling. So, Go out there and enjoy. Okay, bless you. Now it's the gentleman's turn. I love it when men cross their arms. My husband does that, he crosses his legs. No, not because he wants to go to the toilet. I said, uncross your legs, Simon. Why? Because you're cutting off your circulation. But actually, he's probably more healthier than I am, to be honest with you. But I want to say to you here, with yourself, my darling, you're always on the go. You're always really busy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Driving here, there, and everywhere. How you manage those country roads? I'm going to follow you home. Not follow you home. I'm not going to say that, but I mean, how am I going to come away tonight from this wonderful place? Well, I love the energy so much. It's beautiful. But I want to say to you here is the fact that you lost a really, really good friend. Yeah. And I want to say that this friend of yours, you go down the pub and you'd have a few jars and such like. But I just feel as though this gentleman I'm holding my head. Oh, I'm going to take my headband off. Because I just feel as though I've got pressure on my head. I don't know whether basically the pressure work was too much for him. But I feel as it was his ticker. It was somebody that you worked with, his ticker gave up on him.
I can't picture it.
Right, okay. But he did work.
Yeah.
And he's still working, yeah. But there was quite a closeness, and sometimes we don't always remember the people, and I want to go back 10 years anyway. And the music I'm hearing is Ace of Spades, which was Lemmy, Motorhead Lemmy, yeah. Because I feel as though that's the type of music that he really enjoyed listening to, you know. Not your ballad stuff, it was real good rock and roll stuff.
If you can't take that, I know Tracy can still take it, so you might still be with
Okay,
Tracy.
yeah. Okay.
I think they're messing you around. Like I said, they will do it because
I've
Tracy
had
can
loads
take all of
tonight.
that.
That could be for me.
Yeah.
Right. All right, my
Still go to
darling.
her.
Well, please take this gentleman, right? Because he was a real. I've got him dressed in his leather coat. Yeah, he's dressed in his leather coat, and he loved his music. You know, he was there. He was there with the best of them. You know. No, he said no drugs, alcohol.
A little bit sometimes, not often.
Yeah. And as I say, I'm seeing a big motorbike. No. Okay.
But it might be to do with his music.
Right. Okay, but he's a spirit, yeah? Right, okay. He just comes around you a great deal. Says, take his love. I do want to go back to this gentleman because another lady's comes in. Well, he said, she's putting her arms up now. She said, you better, my lad, you better accept me. And I've got very much, if it's not your mum, it's your grandmum coming in.
Right.
Yeah, and she's like a real stout, you know. What she said was what she meant, and by golly, you wouldn't mess with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But she's telling me here the fact that you need more TLC in your life. Is that correct?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And the same here, the fact that don't give up. You know, I remind me of that song, you know, with Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel. Don't give up. Don't give up, even when life is difficult. And I want to give that song. When you go home tonight, can you get that up on YouTube and listen to the words, please?
Right.
Yeah. And that's basically because I've got through a lady, and she's very, very, very much, I feel quite emotional with her. She said, I shouldn't have gone. It wasn't my time. Does that make, and I don't feel somebody who's, although we've got mum, because mum brought her in, alright, this lovely nan, mum type figure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's bringing this other lady because it was like, I don't know whether I should really be here or not. Yeah. I don't know how he's going to take me being here. But she's coming in and she's just giving me so much love to give you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I want to say to you, do not give up on your healing, because your healing is very, very powerful and very, very strong. All right. Keep going with that. And also about crystals. Do you do crystal healing? Okay. Maybe this is a course for you, Madonna.
Yeah.
With Centre of Excellence, crystal healing. Yeah. About the meridian points where we put in the various crystals and yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, and I, you know, at the moment we're still in the waning crescent moon, right, which is to do with spirit. This is the spiritual time we're coming into now. And I want to say here is draw them close to you. Speak to them. Yeah?
Right.
You know, because she probably wants to speak to you so much about various things that she doesn't want to tell me about it because she said it's none of your business. Not saying to me, not to you. She said it's none of your business. I want to speak to him. So basically, draw her in at night. I found, now somebody once said this to me, mugwort. You can buy this from health shop. It's not drugs, by the way, but it does help you to dream.
Right.
All right, so not to have a huge amount, otherwise you'll actually be spaced out. But just a little bit, yeah, in a drink just before you go to sleep, yeah, and to call her through, and especially on the new moon as well, yeah, because this is the time of new beginnings and changes. I think the new moon in Taurus, Gemini. I'm not sure exactly where it is. But yeah, by next Wednesday we're in the new moon. All right, so just write things out. Keep a journal of all the things that you want to materialise in your life,
Right.
because it's going to happen. The car's fine.
Right.
Okay. Have you had the service done on it?
Yeah, there's work been done on it.
Did they check the tyres?
Had to look round it.
I'm not saying you're going to go over a nail or something like that. Maybe it's just a case of the tyre needs just to be pumped up a little bit. It's the back one, yeah. You don't need a new car.
Right.
It's just, at the moment, it's abeyance, isn't it? It's like, oh, I think we're all feeling like this, like what's actually going to happen, what's going to take place in the future. You know, we're not going to really know. As I say, you know, we were talking about this, you know, a few minutes ago, the fact that, you know, come September, we've got all these planets going retrograde. But that isn't a bad thing. It just basically means to say that regarding, you could say, Mercury is the one you have to be careful of, communication, you know, making sure that what you say is not misinterpreted, yeah. But it's all about looking inwards, about the actions, how we're going to see our life revolve in the next 6 months till next year. And basically what they're telling me here is the fact that lots are going to change. And I've also got you going on, that's interesting, isn't it, seeing as all the blooming trains on strike at the moment. But I've got you on a long train journey. And they're coming through the Channel Tunnel.
Right.
Yeah? But not going by boat and not going by plane. But this is like a train journey. That, like the train will go on to the whatever it does. I've never been on that channel thing. But you go on there, and then the next minute you're there, and you're on the train and such like. But it's going to be a really lovely experience. Yeah. And as I say, and the friendship is. I know you're probably a bit reticent about giving your heart again. But the friendship, you've got lots and lots of people who really do care about you.
Okay. Right.
Alright. And this is what Nan's telling me here. She said, lad, just pull your socks up, yeah? He said, and look the world straight in the eye.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Because you've got so much to offer. You really, really have. Just asking if there's anything they... And don't be like that little hamster that goes round the the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, going round and round and round, never goes anywhere, just goes around, you know. Because this is like basically, because sometimes in life, being stuck in a house can be like looking at four walls. And it's like, I need the escape route.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so even if you just go for a walk, if you haven't got a dog, go and borrow one. And if you really want a dog, go and get one. Yeah, But go out there and have fun because it's really, really a beautiful life.
Mm.
Don't be sad
No, 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 no. Oh.
because you've got so much going for you. All right, I want to go to the lovely gentleman who's just crossed his legs. I love it when men do this. It's normally a sign of sort of embarrassment. It's like, oh, really? But I want to say, and you're with, there's a lovely sort of ring of gold around these two. Does that make a good friendship?
I'm good friends, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not marrying you off, so don't worry about that. Unless you actually want to hand fast him, but hey.
As I say, his wife's going to have problems with that.
I'm just joking, honest. I hope your wife's not listening to. I'm joking, honest. But it's a friendship and it's lovely. It really, really is. And I want to say here the fact both of you, you're both very spiritual. Yeah. And especially yourself. I mean, the fact that you hear spirit, you see spirit, you sense spirit, and even like the fifth element, which is the extraterrestrial superpower. Woohoo! Here we come, Beamy and Scotty, yeah. And I want to say is the fact that, listen to, there's the CE5, there's stuff on YouTube regarding the Palladians. It's so really, and the fact that we can got this telescope now, which brings in the photographs of Venus and Mars. So close, it's incredible. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel to you that if you haven't got a telescope, you should have one, or maybe you should borrow a good.
Help me with mine. I've been putting that stuff on Facebook. Like, someone come help me sort my telescope
Yeah.
out. I was outside her house the other night trying to see the moon. I texted her and I'm like, don't worry that I'm outside of a telescope. I ain't perving in your window.
So, you've got your telescope, right? Have you ever thought about, I was saying to this lady about, studying, it's fun to study, even when you get to my age, I'm 16. Yeah, not that old, but I do class as being, probably like me, we're not oaks, we're yaps. Young age pensioners, yeah. You can get so many good things when you're a yap. You can go to the theatre with a special price. It's brilliant. All right, so you're gonna have to probably get past the old dears, bless them, moving quite slowly. Sweethearts, they are. Love you to the bits. But but you can get some really quite good deals when you yap. Yeah. So yeah, go to the theatre. Have fun. See what's on the local. I don't know what local theatres near you, whether it's Joe's Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat or whether it's the Cher musical. But maybe you and your wife and this lady and her husband. There you go. And you can all have a good fun. And that's what life's all about, having good fun. But I want to say, going back to your healing, bless your heart, your healing really, really means a great deal to you. I want to give you singing bowls. Do you know singing bowls? The ones where you get the thing. And I want to say to you, this is a medium for you to be thinking about regarding him, because it's the sound vibration. And it's amazing how it really, really works, especially with people who are a little bit nervous. Because unfortunately, old dears, bless their heart, they're not going dear lally. It's just the fact that it's because people are so busy, they don't have time for the older people, which is quite sad. And they want to talk about the old, and of course, and then they have these weird dreams, and they think they're being haunted by weird people. Yeah. But as I say, and put yourself out so that people can come to you. I'm sure you do anyway. Yeah.
I don't, but I'd like to.
There's, start by next week. Well, hey, it's all going. I mean, as I say, we've got Dark Moon Lilith in sign of Cancer at the moment. It's basically saying, look, this is what I want, this is what I don't want to happen, yeah? I'm fed up of hearing about doom and gloom on the news about the blooming financial crisis. Yeah? Financial crisis was brought by the business people. After all, wasn't it? Because basically they got used to having their expensive cars and their expensive holidays. So they never had to really worry about it, But needless to say, the most important thing is the healing. That is really, really important, and that's what's coming through. And I want to say to you here is the fact that give it a few more years, I can see you. They're just showing this lovely image, standing on the Grand Canyon, looking down at the red rock, and just feeling the essence of the Native Americans around you. Because there is a very strong Native American that works with you, which you're probably aware of anyway,
Yeah.
of the Navajo.
Oh, it's Navajo, is it? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
The Navajo. And as I say, if you stand on, it's a beautiful glass bridge they have, which you can, it's a platform which you can actually stand on, and you can see the red rock below you, and you can see the red rocks around you. It's absolutely incredible. But as I say, there's so much going for you. But, you know, as I say, you know, like Isha said to myself, sometimes you just literally got to take a leap of faith and believe in what you're going to, and you probably think, well, how the heck am I going to do that? Singing bowls, sound vibrations, much like. But you know, you'd be amazed. You know, a year on from now, anything is possible.
Cool, thank you.
And I want to say, and I've got a lady, bless her heart. She was a big-hearted lady, and she didn't make it to older years. Yeah. Her husband's okay now. He's remarried. But you know, the time when she was taken, literally ripped away from him was terrible. But I feel there is a presence of somebody like that around you. This lady just worked so hard and then push, next minute, gone. Yeah. But she just wants coming forward, and then she brings in this healing energy also with you. Yeah. Just check up on. I mean, we're all a bit concerned about this blooming jab. I'm not going to go into business about jab. I would say that's everybody's personal business, whether they have it or not. End of. You know. What I want to say here is the fact that we can do so much good within ourselves by, you know, looking at the diet, looking at what we're eating, you know, looking at what's on. Nowadays, thank goodness, they've got yellows and reds on the packaging, you know, and just be careful. But you've got so much going for you, you really, really have.
Thank you.
But I want to come to your friend there in the lovely green. Did you choose the green because I was coming tonight? I love colour.
She loves green.
Yeah, that beautiful emerald green. And I want to say here, there's this a lovely link with Ireland with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got like Tipperary, and I've got Dublin.
I've never been. I've been to Ireland, but I've never been to Dublin.
Okay.
I love Ireland. When
Right.
I go there, I feel like I should live there.
The best time to go to Dublin, I would say, is in January, when they have what they call the Philo vibe for Phil Lynott. It's actually birthday on the 20th of, it's tomorrow, isn't it? 20th of August. Yeah, happy birthday, Phil Lynott. But I just feel as though, you know, you grew up sort of listening to 70s type of music, you know, probably from mum, dad, you know, and there was always music, you know, going. And do you remember, they showed me the old days where you had the tape recorder and you used to record Top of the Pops.
Definitely.
Yeah, and this is what your nan used to say to me. She said, I'll come to visit you and you can have your head buried down, recording Top of the Pops. But, you know, as I say, there's, you know, music is there. It's
I love music.
absolutely beautiful, you know, and you don't, everyone says you have to pay a fortune to go and get a ticket to see a particular artist. Well, yeah, okay, if you particularly want to see these major stars. But, you know, sometimes the best type of bands to see are the tribute ones, because they have to work so really hard to be good, to be anything like the original artist. So this is saying here is watch out for those things, whether it's butlins or pontins or, you know, and sometimes it can be a lot of fun going away in the winter. You know? Just as I said, you know. Alright, so if you're going to get cold, you're going to get cold.
Wrap up.
Wrap up. Yeah, you know. And then you can have a few hot toddies, make you all sound better. It's beautiful. And I've got a rabbit. I want to give you a white rabbit, a magician's white rabbit. And you know when the magician would have the wand, it's like the little rabbit's coming out of the hat, and the magician's got the wand. So it's handing you the wand, Daisy, for you to make what you really want in your life come true.
Okay, thank you.
Just ask for it. You know, order from the universe. It's a wonderful menu. All right, God bless you. All right, my darling. Okay, how are we doing? We all right?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Right, I missed out you lovely people. I do apologise. How rude of me to miss out this lovely, lovely line of people. That's sometimes coming on well, isn't it? And that's what mainly in the garden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who would have ever believed it, eh? That we would have such a beautiful, it's like Mediterranean. You don't have to go on a plane and fly thousands of miles away and have to go through particle control and these big machines that don't work. It's a hassle, isn't it? It really is. But I want to say here is the fact that there's so many beautiful places. And also, now this is interesting, they've just given me a ticket that's got Eurovision on it. Because somebody's telling me you like listening to the Eurovision when it's on.
Sometimes.
It's just, I've just seen you there and with quite a few friends and you're just having a really, really good night. Of course at the moment you're saying, but Caroline, where's it going? Personally, I think it should go to Liverpool. That's why I think it should go, because of the Beatles. But whether it goes to Liverpool or not, I'll be a very rich woman if it does, wouldn't I? We're bet on. But I've got a gentleman come through and he loved putting a bet on.
Is it a gentleman?
Gentleman. Yeah. It's like he knew. He said he's laughing with me because he had a few. He's been down the pub and he's like calling the GGs. He said, I love putting the money on the GGs. He said, no, don't you know? I was right. He said, but do you know what? Because it's like standing like that. And he said, do you know what? He said, that Grand National wasn't a very nice. He said, I didn't like the Grand National. He said, it was a cruel race. He said, I like the Derby. He said, I like Newmarket and Newbury. He said, you know, and he would travel a fair bit also to go and see the horse racing. And also, not just horse, I've got also whippets, greyhounds.
Greyhound, yes.
Yeah. He's telling me he would have loved to have owned a greyhound. I know that when the greyhounds are...
He did.
Yes, thank you very much. I love it when they come so close, and I really feel so close. And I love his aftershave. Oh my God, what is it? Aramis or Givenchy or Chanel? But that was him. Yeah, always well dressed. Yeah, and he comes very much around you like a fatherly vibration here. Yeah. Okay. But really, you know, if he was going to go somewhere, he would have the shirt and tie and the suit, and make sure that his hair was. I'm not saying he was a real cream boy, you know, when they put the bill, but it always like nicely styled and the comb would come out, and you know, that was him. He said, but to be honest with you, he said, I know it wrenched your heart when I went, but he said, you know what, I didn't want to be an old man.
Makes sense.
He said, I'm the life and soul of the party. And it reminded me, he said, when you were much younger, he said, you probably may not remember this, he said, used to give cigarettes out. He said, the big cartons of cigarettes. And he said, and I'd give me like little blue vouchers. Was that Embassy? Embassy that had, I know the Green Children. Yeah, and you collected so many coupons and you could get a gift. Yeah. But it was that, but he said, I wish I had never smoked. Because he said it didn't help my lungs at all when I went out to the greater world. But he said, I'm just saying, I just want to come forward to you and tell you how much I love you.
Thank you.
He said, and keep that sense of fun about you going, yeah? Okay. You know, it reminds me of Monty Python. Always look on the bright side of life. Do-do, 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 do-do. Yeah? I can't remember the rest of the words, so please don't ask me. But he's just saying, he said, just remember his presence, he said, because, you know, these are the moments that are going to get you through the winter.
Right, okay.
Yeah? He said, everybody's concerned about the heating prices and such like. But hey, maybe we have to go back to burning a few candles. It'd be very romantic actually, nice candlelit dinner. Yeah? Because I've been told here that when you entertain, you do it in style.
Yes.
And also, we've shown, I gosh, these are going back to the days of Hampstead Heath. Now, where was it? Kenwood Park, or somewhere like Kenwood Park, where they would have had the table out, and they would have like sort of the candelabra on the table, and there
That
would
would
be.
have been before my time, before I was born.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
that would have been him.
Yeah, because as I say, with him, everything was done in style. Yeah, and he said, I love listening to my 45s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his music. Yeah. Um, I'm hearing that sing song from the Italian Job on days like this. He wants to give that song to you on days like this. Yeah, before he leaves you, my darling. All right. Let's say God bless.
Thank you.
All right, my love. Oh, I've got so many. It's like looking at a firelights going off all over the place and thinking, who should I go to next? I'm going to go to you, my love. Not just because you crossed your arm, but and I want to. Did you two coming together?
Yeah.
Okay. Daughter and mother?
No, just friends.
Just friends. Okay. All right, but I want to say, but in some ways you're very much like sort of simpatico, as though it's family. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes the friends that you have are more like family than family. Yeah. And I want to say also with yourself, my darling, that it's time for you to put your dancing shoes on. Yeah, even if it's just dancing in your living room. Yeah, and stop worrying about, oh my gosh, you know, I go out, have I got to wear a mask? You know, it's a case of now like, I'm a free spirit. Let's go for it. Yeah. I'm not saying that we can't. We still have to take the cautions. No, God willing, we don't have to go back to wearing masks again. But you know, enjoy life. It's really, really important. Yeah. And I want to bring a lady who would have read the tea leaves. Yeah. And she was really, really good at it. Yeah. Is it what they call taciteurs? Is it taciteurs? I'm not sure what the word is. But basically, this is something that you could actually do yourself. Yeah? Have you ever thought about doing that?
No.
This is a fun thing. Okay. And I also want to say here again, I love your necklace. It's beautiful. I've got my glasses on and I like your bracelet. Oh, they're all saying hi. Oh, Greece. Yay! Let's go do. Oh, God, I'm going to fall over in a minute. Oh, gosh, I'm going to time that. Oh, dear. Oh, we all do these things. But I've got a lady, bless her, and she did, not because of, no, I'm all right, but she did suffer with her legs. When she went to sleep at night, she would like literally get the tingling sensation. Chilblains. I want to look at Nan. Yeah. Do you remember your Nan? Not
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Because I feel as though that it's a circulation in her hands and such like, and all the things that she used to be able to do, she couldn't do towards the end part of her life. Yeah, like the sewing, like the knitting, like the crocheting, you know, and especially, and her eyes went as well. Well, not she could see, but her eyesight wasn't as good, even with the glasses on.
Yeah.
And then she just made me laugh. She said, "Oh, where are my glasses gone? Oh, they're on my head." It was the fun type of thing that she'd come out with. And also playing cards as well, not for money, I hasten to add, but playing cards, like, not snap, it was more like, oh gosh, you're not going to tell me now, whist or poker. You're going to say that as well, aren't you? They are having fun tonight, aren't they?
Mhm.
Because I've got this gentleman play cards, and he played it for money, and he was really good. Okay. Another one for you. They all coming in tonight. Whoa! Okay. I'm going to come back to you. Calm down and listen. Because they're all here tonight for you, aren't they? Like, have some party.
Yep.
That people haven't been able to stay.
Yeah, let's have a party. Well, hey.
Well, I've never had anything.
I knew you would. That's why I said come.
But the lady showed me her charm bracelet. And every single charm that she had on her bracelet meant something. And she reminded me about your 21st birthday. Alright. Why clear the doors, alright, okay. And she said, as you were a little girl, you were always very independent. You always knew exactly what you wanted it to do in life. But okay, let's come back with this. No, she said to me that she had, when she spoke to you, you didn't talk about like little girly things, like let's go play with the teddy bears and have a tea party and such like. You know, you would sit down with her and you tell her all about her day and what had actually happened and what mum said and what dad said, you know. And she said to me, she said, I knew more about what was going on from you than my own daughter told me. Um, and I also want to say again, you love music.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. If you don't play an instrument, I want to know the reason why.
Because I wasn't very good.
Oh, ye little faith. Well, there's nothing like tomorrow. Yeah? Even if it's just getting yourself a penny whistle or a kazoo. Yeah? Reminds me of a lovely musician called Captain Lost Waves. He always used to, when he used to perform, he'd always be giving out kazoos. Yeah. Dear man, he did have a car accident this year, but he's on the mend, so hopefully you'll get to see him in the future. Great fun. Absolutely, really will make you laugh. Really worth seeing. And this is what needs to be in your life, is more fun things. You know, it's, I'm not saying you laugh if somebody falls down, like you've got, but then you sit and pick them up, yeah? And this is like the kids, you know, kids rush around and they fall over, they they bruise their knee, you know, and then it starts bleeding, and do not say to them a negative content, because kids just listen to everything you're telling them, you know, they basically, and they repeat it straight back at you. You got kids?
Grown up, yeah.
Oh, great, lovely. And I want to say also that you're going to be hearing very soon about someone who's going to be having, not me, no, it's not me, I'm not having any kids, but no, somebody who's going to have a baby real soon. It's going to be quite a surprise, but I don't think they're really going to expect, they're going to be expecting.
Okay.
So that's something to really look forward to. And I want to also say again, I want to give you the film Practical Magic. You know, when they have the umbrellas, not to jump off the roof, by the way, but you know, in the film they jump off the roof, don't they? But Practical Magic is such a wonderful film because basically it just shows the power of women coming together when somebody else in the family, all they know of, is in trouble. And I'm going to say to you that you're probably the first one to get there when somebody has matters that need to be sorted out. I also want to say to you here as well, because the lady's coming forward and she's telling me here that you helped her daughter when she was going through a very difficult divorce. It's just their mum has just come just to say thank you to you. Alright. And this lady, she'd love to have a gin and tonic. Yeah, alright. You have to have a chat amongst your friends and say, did your mum like a gin and tonic? And a sherry? Not a whole bottle. But I feel as though I've got a gentleman come forward and he did like his drink. Yeah. And he literally could finish off that bottle within a week. Yeah. He just wishes now that he basically had looked after his liver and kidneys a little bit more. Yeah. But hey ho, you know, sometimes people smoke or they drink, you know, just to feel better in themselves, you know. And I get very much a fatherly figure coming forward here. Yeah. Okay. He's just basically saying, I just wish I had put more water with it. Yeah. So it's always great when they come in after the deed is done. He said, because he says, I know how much you miss me. Yeah. And I, yeah. Okay. And he said, thank you so much for helping Mum regarding the estate and sorting matters out. It wasn't easy. You also know of a few friends, unfortunately, who did go to the world of spirit with family. It's, when people ask me, well, what? I mean, I've had friends who've gone over. Like, well, what? Why? Why did they have to go? What can I say? is maybe basically there was a planet out there who needed to have more human people on there. And thank goodness nowadays with the telescope and everything, we have a greater, more understanding regarding astronomy. Yeah. And I also want to give you Jodrell Bank. I think it's in Manchester. Okay? Because I want Dad's just telling me here, look at the night sky. And when you see that star, go straight, there must be stars going still. I know it was in August, aren't we? Stars shooting across the sky. He's just basically saying, he said, look at that sky and see the star. I'm there. He said, I'm only a thought away. He said, remember, what works fastest is the speed of thought, not the speed of sound. He loves you very much and he's bringing you your favourite teddy bear. That bear had so much heart. He said, and I know that bear was cried all over and you told that bear so many of your secrets. I love it when they do that. Can you do it again? But just take his love. It's all there for you. Okay. Right. Okay. We're still okay. Good. And I want to go straight down. Yes, my darling. Your energy is with me. It's beautiful. And I want to say here is the fact that you also miss your dad.
Yeah.
And that was a tough water, wasn't it? 1 minute there, next minute gone. And you couldn't even go and see him. That was the worst thing about it. Oh, gee, bless your heart. So cruel. Yeah. I mean, it reminds you going back in the days in the Middle Ages when there was the plague. Because that's basically almost what we've been through the last 2 years. It's like going through the plague, isn't it? But, you know, Dad's there and he's just saying to me, he said, don't think that I wasn't by myself. He said, Mum came to be with me. He said, she, you know, they always like to say to you that when you're in the hospital, they always bring the minister in, like, do you want to say any prayers? Like, yeah, okay. And then they've got to do all the last rites and such like, because he's telling me all about it. He said, I couldn't really be bothered about that. He said, I just wanted to go off with Mum and see Mum again and see the garden, yeah? He said, but he often comes around you, yeah? And he's saying, he's talking about getting probably a bit late for sunflower now, isn't it? You got a sunflower?
Well, I put them in late, and I'm hoping,
Yeah, well, he's just showing me a big, huge sunflower.
Yeah.
He says, so when you see that sunflower, think of me, because I'm standing right down there.
Maybe it will come out then, yeah.
He's saying to me, sunflower, definitely sunflower. And also, when you've taken photographs in the past, have you ever seen orbs? Because he's telling me here, when you see that sunflower, take a photograph. And he said he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that there's an orb. And it's also like, he's showing me again about when you were a little girl and you used to do cloud busting, looking for faces in the clouds. Yeah. Or the man in the moon. We all know that they're creators nowadays, but it's a lovely story, the man in the moon, isn't it, really? But you've got a real thing about the moon as well. Yeah. You love the moon, La Luna, you know. And in fact, there were a group of philosophers who actually called themselves the lunatics. Not the lunatics in a mental hospital, but the lunatics. Yeah. Yes. So, yes, tune into that energy, yeah? And I wouldn't be surprised, my lovely, there must be a Cancerian energy around you.
My dad.
Thank you. I just love it when they come forward with that, because there's a talk about the moon, and he said, that is me. He said, I could be happy one moment, he said, but I could be Mr. Grumpy the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Men, happy Mr. Men.
Yeah.
Which Mr. Man is he going to be here today, you know?
Yeah.
But he said, I only got grumpy really is because basically I couldn't do the things that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was just annoyed with myself. He said, you know, I just used to sit there just looking at the four walls and not really getting out and doing things. He said, then the cough came on, and then the breathing came on, and then I was like, oh, what's going on? Yeah. But when his letters come through, he said to me, tell you, don't think of him as an old man. Think of him as a young man. Yeah. Vibrant and energetic, because, you know, he's even telling me about going on a boat. Not a boat, a little boat with oars. Okay. Maybe you went on this boat with your mum. He said, and we almost got stuck because I wasn't very good on the oars. All right. But again, I'm seeing a beautiful sailing ship. And I want to give a big, huge sailing ship to you.
Yeah.
And I also want to give Brixton to you. Alright? The reason I'm going to give you Brixton is, may not well be this year. It may well be next year. Because I've got a pirate festival. I are the artists.
Okay.
But I've just seen you all dressed up and you just had such a laugh. You've had a few bevies and it's like, but thank goodness we've got out of this. Yeah? And people say to me, when's it all going to sort out, basically? It's when Pluto comes out of being in Capricorn. Capricorn is the hardest sign. Capricorns are the hardest work. If anybody's a Capricorn in here tonight, any Capricorns here? No. It's the hardest working sign. It really is. Because it's like a mountain goat that keeps climbing, climbing, climbing till it gets to like the top. And then it's got fantastic view to look at. Yeah. And Aquarius, so once Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's the new age, it's the freedom, it's basically going after all the things that we never had in the past, that we didn't have it probably in Victorian times. You know, it's basically going back to the arts and crafts and making things, yeah? I don't know whether you make things, but I've got Christmas cards. You started Christmas cards? Well done, excellent. Well, I'm just going to make so everybody knows they can go to this lady's Christmas cards. All right. Bless you. All right. We still okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's 9:30, so you can wrap up if you want to.
Okay. Then this is going to be a free fall. All right. I've got a lady, and I'm going back to the 1940s, and this lady got married in a dress that was made out of a parachute. That's a strange one, is it?
That's for me.
Oh, fantastic. Parachute satin. And also there's a very strong link here with America with you as well.
I've got friends in America and we're planning on going at some point.
Yes, you are, aren't you? And yes, you are going to be going.
I'll tell my mum because she was moaning about it earlier.
Yeah. Well, I've got a fatherly figure coming forward here.
Granddad, yeah.
Granddad, thank you very much. Okay, but when he comes in, I'm not seeing, you know, the old granddad with the... No disrespect to you, dears, with the walking stick, and you know he was vibrant, and he was a real crooner. He could have probably sung a really good Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin song, yeah. And he was a light and soul of the party, yeah. But he's saying, hey, don't put it off. It's for tomorrow. Plan it for next year.
It's up to Mum's health when we can plan it, so it'd be down to Mum.
Mum's health is being looked at. She's on medication.
Yep.
Yeah. But if she doesn't do it, she doesn't want to. You don't want to live in regret. My mum wanted to go to New York. She wanted to go on a QE2, but she got disabled, and that was never going to happen. So do it now.
I won't go without Mum.
Go with Mum. Dad's really adamant about this.
Yeah, she can't go yet at the moment because she's still not able to get the insurance and everything to be able to go yet. So we'll get there as soon as we can, but we can't at the moment.
Right. Okay.
But Mum,
this is why you're saying at least a year's time.
Yeah, that's what Mum was talking about. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
The year after.
It's looking at the course of diet and you know and exercise and things like this. Yeah. It's cutting out. Not cutting out all the sweet things of life.
She's working on it, yeah. And
she's doing Dad's telling me that she's doing a really, really good job.
She's trying. She's trying, bless her.
Yeah.
We won't say about the fact we went for lunch today, will we?
Probably not, knowing it's your mother.
Oh, well, it's just a one-off. Yeah.
No, she was a good girl.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, one-off. That's okay. You know the great thing is, if you have to out sweet things, you know what you do? And you like the old G&T, buy yourself a bottle. Like if you go to a festival and you can't have that much to drink, buy yourself a bottle and keep giving it to your friends.
That's what my mum does do. She takes her own drink into the pub with her, and she buys one, and then she just tops it up and tops all her friends up. So yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, that's her problem.
And that's what he's just been saying. He said, you know, she likes, she's a good time.
Yeah, she's okay. I think she's just more worried about it herself more than anything.
Well, I think basically when you've got a health condition, you are worried about it. Yeah? Because, you know, we think that all the doctors have all the knowledge, but to be honest with you, where did they get their knowledge from in the first place?
Yeah.
Herbs.
Yeah.
And that's why basically lots of witches were tried and called witches because they understood the power of herbs. They can make you well, or they can actually do wrong things.
Yep.
So, my lovely.
Thank you.
You know about your herbs.
Yeah.
It's as I say, it's going to take time.
I'd never attempt to get my mother to take anything like that because she'd probably just sneeze it at me.
I bet she'd have ginger.
She wouldn't. I tried to get her to have a ginger tablet when she was feeling sick the other week. It weren't
What
pretty.
about if you had ginger chicken? Wouldn't have chicken ginger.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's a shame, isn't it?
My mum is more stubborn than me.
Oh, bless.
I know.
What can you say?
Mum, eat the chicken.
Or lamb. Lamb and
We're not
roast
allowed
beef.
that. Daddy's not allowed red meat no more.
No, it's not, is it?
No.
Oh.
My daddy's not allowed red meat anymore. He's not allowed potatoes. He's not allowed tomatoes. Yeah, he doesn't know what to eat anymore. It's his arthritis. He's moaning because he hasn't had lasagna in a week.
Well, that's all right. Occasionally.
He's not allowed it now. He's been really good.
Yeah,
Daddy's not had a beer in 4 weeks.
that is even better. No beer, because he's got gas and it doesn't.
He's not allowed. He's been really good. They've both been really good.
Well, then they deserve.
They're very bored.
They deserve a gold star. And they're telling me here that there are lots of really, really good things happening for you.
We'll see. It's all good. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're vibing.
Keep faith.
We're
Keep
vibing.
going.
Yeah.
And it's what will be, will be. Que
Yep.
sera, sera.
Yep.
And that's what the song
We'll
has
get
been
there.
forward for you. Que sera, sera.
Yeah, that's on my dad's side, yeah.
Lots of love. And lots of love there for Dad as well.
Yep, that'll be his mum coming through then, because that was a song she had at her funeral, so yeah.
Ah, that's beautiful.
I'll give that to him later.
And also the dog.
Okay, yep.
What's up with the dog?
Mum and Dad lost Ben last year.
Oh my god.
But no, the funny... So I was out with Mum earlier, we were having lunch, and Mum got really upset because she had leftover fish that she couldn't give to the dog.
That weren't there.
Oh.
The dog's not there anymore, so she's sitting there and she's like, I don't want to waste this fish. And I'm like, well, you don't have to eat it, Mum. She's like, but I don't want to waste it. She's like, but I haven't got Ben anymore. And I went, I'll take it home for Sephi. And she went, yes. She went, it's a cat. Cat likes fish. And just wrapped up this fish and gave it to me. And then I forgot about the fish. So as I was leaving home earlier, I just shouted out to Kid, can you get the fish out of my bag? Because I would imagine that I'd get here and just pull some fish out.
Oh, fishy tail that is.
You can keep Steffi where she is, thank you.
I was just worried that I was just going to get here and find like a bag full of fish.
Bring the dog in and the fishy tail.
Yeah.
And as we say, he's just giggling about it and laughing.
Yeah,
He just thinks it's really funny.
she's missing him. She's missing Ben quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, maybe there should be another dog.
She's thinking about it, and she's bouncing backwards and forwards.
A labradoodle.
Yeah, no. I suggested one of those. No,
We'll just give her one for Christmas.
no. She will not touch. They will not touch that. She'd look at it. She'd be like, "What is that rat?"
Well, that's all actually.
They're lovely
But
labradoodles.
I do actually prefer a dog.
A dog.
Yeah.
An Alsatian.
No, I think a Rottweiler. Or a Mastiff.
No, they're not having one of those.
Well, anyway, whatever dog it
You
is,
can have what you want. They're not.
you know,
Not like that.
go to RSPCA and give a dog a good home.
Yeah, they said they would get another rescue if they got another
There you
dog.
go. With that, I'm going to say God bless. Thank you very much,
Thank
everybody,
you.
for being here tonight. And if you can take something from, sorry I couldn't get around to everybody, but if you can take something from somebody else in there, Nikki can give it back next week, okay?
Thank
Bless
you.
you.
Just close in prayer for me before you sit down. That would be amazing. So I don't want you to have to sit down and bounce back up again because you do
Okay.
that.
Dear Father and Mother Goddess, thank you very much for this lovely evening that we've all shared here tonight. Thank you for your blessings. We ask that where there's hate, there may be love. Where there's misunderstanding, there may be understanding. And that a blessing is given on to every home represented here tonight. And for those who may be missing their loved ones who've gone to the greater world of spirit in the last few years, may they know that their presence and their love is always there with them. Thank you so much for everything. And peace and love for everyone. Thank you. Amen.
Thank you. She's off to make teas and coffee.